Once upon a time, in a busy city of Accra, lived a young girl named Dede. Dede is a very beautiful young girl. She is respectful and humble. She takes care of her siblings. Everywhere Dede goes, people tend to look at her and admire her as she passes by. A big bright ray of sunshine she is. Not only does she carry an attractive physical appearance, but she holds a respectable traditional status. Her father, a Wulomo. The Wulomo is a priest for the deity of their land. Dede attends the University of Ghana, also known as Legon, with a friend she made during her time there. Her name is Afule. Dede and Afule were good friends. They go everywhere together, eat lunch and talk about boys. One day, when the two girls were walking together, laughing about something that happened at school, their eyes caught the sight of two fine boys passing by, Kwame and Titi. The guys also happened to spot the two beautiful girls, so they approached them and started talking. From there, the four gradually became friends. Kwame had eye for Dede. He loved her company and wanted to ask her out. Though he was very shy of the thought, he grew the confidence to do so. They had a very great time. It was very noticeable that the two were in love. Dede could not stop smiling and Kwame couldn't take his eyes off his love. After Kwame dropped Dede off at her dorm, Dede, full of joy and in such deep love, he rushed to call her friend Afule and told her about the romantic night she had. Kwame is also a student of Legon, but he is in level 200. He is very dedicated in his studies. His professors admire his intellectualness and believe that he can go places. One day, to Kwame's great surprise, he received a letter indicating that an academic opportunity has been set in place for him to travel abroad to the UK for some time. Kwame was overwhelmed, but it wasn't soon till a frown appeared on his face. Kwame was very stressed. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that he did not want to miss out. With a sad countenance and as much on his mind, he visited his love, Dede, to share this dilemma with her. When Dede heard this, she was also very concerned for Kwame, but she also had something to share that made her a bit sad. Dede had found out that she was few weeks pregnant with Kwame's child. This was great news for Kwame. He was very happy to hear that he was going to have a child and cautioned Dede not to do anything to the pregnancy because he will do everything in his will to have a stable home for Dede and his child, to live a happy family. Now there was much to think about among the two. While they were discussing their plans for their future, Dede had an idea. Kwame asked, "How can I help you?" She said, "What if I go home and steal some of my family's gold and give it to you? It will help you financially." Kwame hesitated and responded, "But what if you get caught? What would your father do?" Dede convinced Kwame that nothing will happen to her since she is the favorite child of her father. But she said, if it were to happen that the gold was stolen to help their situation, Kwame had to agree to come back and bring her and the child with him abroad. Kwame looked deeply into Dede's eyes and shook his head. He held her hands and brought her close to him and said, "As long as I live, nothing can separate you from me. As long as you have my child, I will always be there for you." Dede smiled and hugged Kwame tightly. The following day, Dede snuck into her father's home and stole the gold. She and Kwame took it to the gold sellers and received plenty of money in return. From there, they started processing the traveling document. During these days, it was hard to access phone. They could only be accessed in offices. Kwame needed a phone number to call whenever he wanted to reach Dede, so Dede gave him Afule's office phone number. It wasn't soon after Kwame left for Dede's father to realize the gold was missing. When he asked who did it, everyone denied. When Dede was asked, because she was seen in the house, she too denied. This was very frustrating to their father, so he resorted in consulting the deity to reveal who stole his gold. The deity revealed that it was indeed Dede who stole the gold. Dede's father was disappointed. He called Dede into his chambers, asked her questions, and confronted. She then confessed all that she did and shared her story about her child and Kwame. Dede's father asked about the family of Kwame, but Dede stated that she didn't know anything about his family. Full of anger, disappointment, and sadness, Dede's father decided to banish Dede from the home and disown her as a daughter. This really hurt the heart of Dede's mother. Day and night, she could not sleep thinking about her daughter. She later fell sick and passed away. Dede dropped out from school and moved in with her grandmother. She works on the compound of her grandmother, and her friend Baba comes up to help her. Few months later, Dede started to grow weary of her love for Kwame. She pays Afule a visit at her office to ask if she had received any letter from Kwame. Afule says yes and gave the letter to Dede. In the letter, Kwame seems to be doing just great. He received another opportunity somewhere else and would have to move from his current location. He informs Dede that she would need to write a new address. Of course, Kwame reminds her of his love for her and the child and how he hopes the child would be a bouncy baby boy, and gives her some money. The time arrived for Dede to give birth. She ends up having a strong baby boy, and she named the boy Junior. Once again, Dede goes to Afule's office to ask if any letter from Kwame came in. Afule says no, and Dede returns home. Times were starting to get a bit hard for Dede. She started to run out of money. She couldn't give up because of her hope to see her lover. Afule told Dede she should move on, and that she was wasting her time on someone who wasn't coming back. But Dede paid no mind to her. To make money, she started selling goods on the streets, and she was working. Titi, an old friend, spotted her and quickly approached her, shocked and concerned, and asked, "Dede, what happened to you? I haven't heard from you in such a long time. Why are you selling goods on the streets?" Dede explained the situation between her and Kwame. Selling the gold from their father's house, being disowned, not hearing from Kwame in such a long time, and now running low on her finances. Titi was shocked. He looked at Dede and started to confess his love for her. "Dede, you know I've always liked you, but you had eyes for Kwame and paid me no mind." Minutes after sharing his love, he tells her that he wants to marry her and willing to take care of her and her child. Dede, holding loyalty towards Kwame, becomes upset and rejects Titi after. Titi was disappointed but wasn't offended. He gave Dede something small for the little one and walks off. Few months later, Dede goes to Afule again and asks if she had received any letter. Afule once again says no. When Dede visited Afule, she had seen a huge difference in her life. Afule was now rich. She was building a house, started wearing new clothes, and had much jewelry. But before Dede left, Afule gave her a bit of money to cheer her up. Back to her grandmother's house, Baba comes back to join Dede in work. She tells Dede that she is going to be surprised if Dede moves on, and that it may be for the best. Baba gave Dede some money and left because she needed to take care of her sick parents. All this was stressful for Dede, but all her friends suggested the same idea to relieve her stress. Junior soon fell sick and Dede had to take him to the hospital. But at the hospital, she realized that she had not enough money to pay for the hospital bills. But luckily for her, a friend from college spotted her and paid for the bills without wanting any favor in return. Dede and Junior were soon discharged after a week. Dede was now fed up. She could no longer wait and suffer, so she decided to pay Titi a visit. On the same day, Kwame had arrived back in Ghana and headed straight to Titi's house to pay him a visit.
Well, feels good to be back home. Well, I actually miss this country. Titi would be glad to have me home. What is going on here? Titi! Dede! How could you do this to me? Upon all I have done for you, this is how you could betray me? No, I can't believe this. Never knew you were such a cheap slut. You are such a whore. Prostitute, you are bitching around all the time. And you had no option than to bitch around with my best friend. And you, Titi, I'm disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed in you. How could you do this? How could you? Dede, upon all the cars I bought for you, I bought a car for you. I bought a car for your useless and jobless father for him to drive around. And this is how you could pay me back?
Hey, man, relax.
You cannot tell me to shut up, man.
Relax.
You cannot tell me to shut up.
You are very selfish.
I'm selfish. How can you tell me I'm selfish?
Upon all the things you've put her through.
Do you know what I've done for him? I keep sending money. Afole even tells me the progress of the building and all that, and you are telling me she hasn't received any money. Who are you to tell me that?
How do you mean by Afole is telling you this?
But how then did you come into a relationship? Because it's something between myself and my girlfriend. Who are you?
She hasn't received anything from you.
Meanwhile, Dede was sobbing and torn apart. She grabbed her child and started to write a letter, thanking Kwame for all the pain he had put her through and how she had been faithful to him all these years, and that she's not a prostitute and her son is not a bastard. The letter ends with her stating how she felt that there was no point in her life to live, and so she drank some poison and gave some to the child. After Titi had explained everything that happened to Dede to Kwame, Kwame then regretted his actions towards Dede. He then pleaded with Titi to take him to Dede's house. Lo and behold, they found Dede and the baby unconscious.
Jesus Christ! What's happening here?
Dede, wake up. Dede, wake up.
Junior.
All I said was a joke. I'm sorry. Just wake up. Let's go.
Dede,
you cannot be doing this. Let me get water.
Yo, bro, you're wasting time. Let's take them to the hospital fast.
Let's be fast. Open the door for me.
Kwame was so sad to read the letter and regretted not talking to Dede first about what happened. Dede ended up passing away in the hospital, but luckily for the child, he survived. Afole was later arrested at the airport, trying to escape from the country. Upon hearing the arrival of Kwame, this was because she spent all the monies that Kwame sent to her, which was meant to be given to Dede. Kwame ran to Dede's family house to beg for forgiveness and explain all that had happened. After hearing that, Dede's father realized that Kwame wasn't a bad guy after all. He also started to regret his actions. He felt that he shouldn't have never disowned his daughter. Dede's father forgave Kwame and also took custody of the child. Kwame was allowed to visit and spend time with his child every week, and they both lived happily after. So the question remains, who killed Dede? Please leave your comments in the comment section.
Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.